The Bewitching Halloween Tea Ball. In the eerie, stormy setting of the Halloween costume castle, bossy topiary clown, posy crossdresser strawman, finicky panda, chatty quantum professor, and whiny rhymy tumbleweed have found themselves confronting a recurring dream that felt like an infinite loop of a bizarre movie. The sky was perpetually dark with clouds that rumbled ominously, lightning flickered like fireworks, and winds howled with a mischievous glee. Rain pelted the grounds relentlessly, creating a symphony of eerie droplets against the grumpy castle walls. Fog rolled in like thick, ghostly fingers, prodding everything it touched, adding to the spine-chilling ambience. Tonight, however, was no ordinary night. It was the night of their much-awaited Halloween tea ball with none other than the gods themselves. In this nightmare of a weather scene, the friends gathered to concoct their plan. Bossy topiary clown, with his booming voice and demanding presence, decreed the tasks with military precision. Posy, secure the pumpkin patch. Finicky, check the candy cottage. Chatty, sort out the surprise boxes. Whiny Rhymy, you're in charge of the music. Of course, Posy the crossdresser strawman, ever so stylish, sashayed off to the pumpkin patch. His straw frame rustled with every move, and a string of mismatched buttons adorning his chest jingled like little bells. Finicky Panda, who couldn't resist a chance to set everything just so, lumbered over to the candy cottage where wizards busied themselves sprinkling colorful candies and charming little props in the yard. The sound of the chimey breezes added a whimsical note to the preparations. Chatty Quantum Professor, constantly blabbing about quantum mechanics in a nasally voice, inspected the surprise boxes with an enthusiasm that could only be matched by Whiny Rhymy Tumbleweed's incessant rhyming. Whiny's poetic complaints about everything from the weather to the lack of suitable dance tutors filled the air as he spun around, tumbling from place to place. As the spectacular evening drew nigh, the castle grounds were adorned with the most macabre and whimsical decorations, artfully carved pumpkins, glowing lanterns, cobweb-lined pathways, and ghostly statues. The air crackled with excitement and the promise of revelry. The mischievous gods, led by an irate Zeus whose thunderous rage shook the very ground, descended upon the castle. They weren't alone in their divine mischief. Along with them came the madcap Ellis, an Elvis lookalike whose gyrating hips and bombastic personality could light up any room, gossipy cats spreading feline rumors, the ever-enigmatic Mad Hatter, the paradox-bound paradox professor, and even the ghostly presence of legends like Mark Twain and the larger-than-life John Candy. Adding to the surreal atmosphere were the spectral blabbery dollhouse residents, phantom pets prancing about, and false dance tutors who seemed more interested in confusing than instructing. The setting was perfect for the wild night ahead. As the ballroom filled with an eclectic mix of characters, the band struck up an assortment of Halloween tunes, mystical, eerie, with a touch of jive. Each god, ghost, and ghoul alike took their places. The Mad Hatter, exuberant and unpredictable, partnered with the gossipy cats to enthrall the audience with tales that defied logic. Meanwhile, Posy was complimented marvelously by the eye-catching Ellis who epitomized flamboyance. Finicky Panda, always aware of the decorum, hesitated at first but was whisked away by the whimsical phantom pets who seemed to twirl effortlessly in midair. The dance floor was alive with costumes that ranged from the haunting to the humorous. Chatty Quantum Professor, never one to miss an opportunity to pontificate, surprisingly found a rhythm with the Paradox Professor, their steps punctuated by quantum quips and paradoxical pauses. Whiny Rhymy Tumbleweed, for all his moaning, found himself caught up in a whirl of rhyme and twine, his forlorn verses echoing the haunted chords of the music. The peak of the evening was the grand dance contest. All eyes were on the twirling, swirling, pirouetting participants. Ellis and Posy were undeniable contenders with their outrageous sartorial choices. Yet, it was bossy topiary clown, with his elaborate headdress fashioned out of blooming topiary, who dazzled the crowd by cradling phantom pets. Complimenting him, Zeus himself, in an unexpected twist of fate, showcased his prowess by stomping thunderously yet gracefully in rhythm. Together, they were a force to reckon with and thus all won. However, it was Whiny Rhymy Tumbleweed who took the accolade for the wildest costume. With twigs, leaves, and assorted bric-a-brac sticking out at haphazard angles while he spun wildly, Whiny's disheveled appearance, coupled with his constant rhymes, provided endless amusement. The surprise topper of this zany affair, however, was the unexpected food fight that broke out. The wizards at the Candy Cottage, in their enthusiasm to add ambience, had enchanted the table settings such that the dishes had a mind of their own. At the height of the revelry, a mischievous cat casually knocked over a candy-laden candelabrum, triggering an unforeseen chain of events. The wizards' confections, magic-infused and lively, began flinging themselves left and right. Old rivalries were quickly rekindled. Bossy topiary clown shouted directives even as he ducked flying eclairs. Posy, never one to miss a chance at dramatic flair, took cover behind a giant pumpkin, shrieking with delight. Finicky Panda, in a mix of horror and delight, tried to catch and reorder the chaos. Chatty Quantum Professor's rapid-fire theories on the physics of the flying pastries were drowned by whiny rhymy tumbleweed's anguish rhymes about the sticky mess on his bristle-covered exterior. Amidst the chaotic food slinging, Ellis found himself crooning to an impromptu tune with the madcap chorus provided by the Mad Hatter, whose antics knew no bounds. Zeus roared with laughter, joining the fray with thunderous glee, and even the blabbery dollhouse inhabitants couldn't resist throwing confections out through windows. The atmosphere became a jesting battlefield of exaggerated chaos and shrieking laughter. Mark Twain and John Candy exchanged quips and traded pies with a precision that only comedic legends could muster. Zeus's thunderous laughter could be heard reverberating through the spooky corridors as he hurled lightning-shaped sweets, relishing in the unexpected anarchy. However, cooler heads eventually prevailed. The wizards waved their wands, calming the possessed sweets and settling the candy shrapnel into orderly piles. As the night wound down and the rain continued its incessant drumming, the gods and their guests retreated to the tea room, where the final cups of tea were poured, accompanied by tall tales and lingering sugary crumbs. Zeus, a most unlikely host, raised a shimmering goblet to unexpected chaos and the best Halloween tea ball. His thunderous proclamation was met with raucous cheers. Bossy topiary clown couldn't resist a final word. "Next year, we need to double the security on the pastries," he said, still brushing stray crumbs off his elaborate foliage. "Also, Posy, we need more flamboyant pumpkins." Posy, ever the stylish strawman, grinned. "Only if Finicky agrees to more whimsical details. And Chatty, no more quantum theories during waltzes, it's terribly distracting." Finicky Panda nodded solemnly, adjusting a stray leaf. And if whiny Tumbleweed could try, just try, to limit his rhymes about the weather?